Hi, this is Jundo, and welcome to preparations for our upcoming annual 2-day, always at home, netcast right to your home, annual Rohatsu retreat here at Tree Leaf. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about why we sit as we do, and also some of the things you need, like how to make a nifty at-home Oryoki set, just from things around the house. But first, why do we sit this way? You always hear me say that in Zen, there's nothing to attain. So why are we sitting for a couple of days from morning till late at night so diligently? What are we doing if there's nothing to attain? Well, the truth of the matter is that sometimes it's good to sit a little longer, a little harder, a little more focused and concentrated. The me, myself, and I wrestling with the me, myself, and I, all to realize that there's nothing to attain. And to find that in some of the beautiful traditions and rituals of Rohatsu, that's a great way. And I'm going to try to tell you a little bit today about the philosophy behind that and why we do this. But let me tell you too, you can do it right in your home, and you can do it with us through this online netcast. But if you can, I always encourage everyone to head out to a bricks and mortar Zen group that will be sitting. Some groups will be sitting for 2 days or 3 days. Some groups will be sitting for a week. If you can find the time, please do join with others and sit with them. But if you can't, or in addition to that, please sit with us here online. We try to make the experience as close as we can to a traditional Soto Zen Rohatsu retreat, at least for a couple of days. And to do that, I've posted some guidelines and other tips that I ask you to download. You make a special, quiet, sacred space in your own home. I tell parents who have kids how to work with that and make it right part of the retreat. There's no difference between bowing to Buddha and changing your baby's diaper if you have the right mindset for it. In the coming days, I'll talk a couple more times about some of the traditions of retreat and Rohatsu, such as Samu, even how to go to the bathroom and brush your teeth. But today I want to talk a bit about Oryoki. We're going to make a traditional Oryoki set just from things at home. Now, first off, what is Oryoki? Oryoki is a tradition of mindful, centered eating, usually found in Zen monasteries during retreat, but really every day. And this is a beautiful tradition that is very much like a ballet. I'm going to post up some of the kind of steps, the instructions, so you can look at all the moves for full Oryoki. There are dozens and dozens. And when you master them, when they become part of the body memory, you pour yourself into the ballet, and it is how you lose yourself in the movements and find yourself again. It is a wonderful way of eating with every morsel a sacred medicine to support your practice, and fully mindful of how wonderful it is just to be alive, to be able to put something in your mouth and to live. You know, we usually gobble gobble through the drive-thru these days, but Oryoki is a way for us to slow down, to realize that having the ability to be alive and to eat is a miracle. And so we don't rush through it. Every step of eating is in fact a sacred ceremony. And we also discard all thoughts of our likes and dislikes. It's not about having delicious food. It's not about having bitter food. If the food is sweet, we take the sweet. If the food is bitter, we take the bitter, like all of life. All right, I think you get the point. Well, let me just show you how to make a simple home Oryoki set. What you need is an ordinary pillowcase, a clean one, something like a men's handkerchief, like that. Let me put that aside. An ordinary cloth dinner napkin, something like this. Let me put that aside too. an ordinary envelope. This one opens on the top, but an American style envelope that opens on the side is fine too. And inside, a spoon, perhaps a tablespoon. Let me put that aside. If you're very, very good with chopsticks, a set of chopsticks. If not, maybe a teaspoon, a smaller spoon will do. And a sponge cut to about that size. All right? And inside our set, let me open this here. Inside our set, I have some bowls that fit inside each other. There's a big bowl. This represents the Buddha's traditional begging bowl. One thing to remember during the ceremony, we do not touch our lips to this bowl. This is the Buddha's sacred bowl when they would go from home to home, walking in India, receiving donations. The Buddha would carry a bowl. This represents that bowl. But we also have another bowl that fits inside. That's the middle bowl. And for our very simplified Oryoki, a teacup that fits right in there. Now, let me tell you something. We are not going to be going through all the dozens and dozens of moves of Oryoki. It's wonderful if you ever have the time to master that. It's very much like a ballet, like the tea ceremony. And in those dozens and dozens of beautiful moves, each done one by one, much like Kin-Hin, much like Zazen itself, we pour ourselves and find ourselves again. In our Oryoki, we're going to be doing a simplified version. However, I would like to bring the same sincerity, the same heart into it as we do in the more complex ceremony. How? My basic rule is this. First off, we go slowly. Next, we pause, even for a fraction of a second, between every gesture. Don't just rush through it. And we try to remember to bow, or gasho, between every gesture. Slow, pause, gasho. All right? Now I'm going to show you how to do that, but first, let's work on packing the set. You have your pillowcase. Pillowcase is a little long for a rectangle, so I fold it over about 1/3 like this. So it's a slightly smaller rectangle. And the position we work from is the star position. You notice that I have a table here. It's okay if you have a flat table. It doesn't have to hang over the front like you see here, though that's traditional too. But we put one star of the rectangle there, another star is here, and two here. There's actually a fancy way to open it, which you can if you want, which you give an extra fold to the stars, and they become something like that, you see. All right? But I'm not going to say you have to do that. It's fine if you just open your cloth in a neat way in this star shape. Then the bowls, we're just packing now. This is not the formal way to pack. I'm going to show you how to do that. Big bowl, middle bowl, teacup inside. All right? Then you take back flap, the one closest to you first, put it over this way, and front flap that way. All right? Take your envelope. In your envelope goes your sponge, your little spoon, and chopsticks. Handles facing out, so would be good, so you can pull it out easily, and your large spoon, like so. Okay? And that goes next. Then you take your napkin. There's a traditional way to fold it in thirds. I'm not going to ask you to do that. If you just fold it like a normal napkin shape, that's fine. All right? And we put that on top there. And then your handkerchief is actually a bowl wiping cloth, so it's going to get wet. So we usually keep that open on the top like this. All right? And then there's also a traditional way to close it with, as a gesture, you pull it through, just make some bunny ears is fine for our purpose here. Okay? Alright. Now, let's begin to discuss the basics of the ceremony. When you come in, we walk. This is a sacred instrument. I hold it 3 fingers in each hand in front of my face. I don't just carry it in and plop it down. Of course not. We hold it very respectfully when we walk in the zendo, and we bow. It's sacred utensils. We place them down. As I said, pause, bow, and then sit zazen. The ceremony will begin, and I will be giving you instructions what to do. We begin with some chanting. The first chant has to do with the Buddha's life, where he became enlightened, where he was born, and then at a certain point I will say, open your bowls. Remember my rules. Slow, pause, gasho. Open the bunny ears, put them out sideways. Gasho. Okay. Take your wiping cloth and put it behind the bowls on your table. Here, can you see where I'm putting it here on the table? Back here. Pause. Gasho. Take your napkin and open it. What is the napkin for? To keep your robes dry. Place it on your lap. Pause. Gasho. Take your envelope and turn it and place it on the drying cloth. You see where I placed it on the table? Just down here. Alright. Pause. Gasho. Lift the envelope and the drying cloth. Open your triangle. Here. Here. Place the drying cloth and the envelope back down. Pause. Gasho. Next, I always work with 3 fingers. Take your large bowl, place it here. Pause. Gasho. Take your middle bowl in the center. Pause. Gasho. Take your cup, place it here. Pause. Gasho. Pick up your instruments. Alright. Take out the chopsticks. Place them here. Alright. Take out the spoon. Place that down as well. Reach in, take the sponge. The sponge slides between the middle bowl and the teacup, right there. Take your envelope, place it under your drying cloth. Well done. Sit in zazen. Now we will go through several chants. I will try to guide you when to gasho. Notice, by the way, the spoon does not go in the bowl yet. Right? The spoon is resting here. I'll guide you when to gasho. We chant. The chants are available for you to print out. A couple of tricky parts I just want you to notice. There's one part where in the chant you go from gasho, shashu, zazen. The instructions are written there, don't panic. There's another part where we do take the spoon, place it finally in the bowl, lift the bowl to eye level, and bow. The instructions are all written there. And then I will tell you to begin eating, you begin eating. Eat in silence. One thing about Oryoki is dropping all aversions and attractions, likes and dislikes. You don't have to eat delicious food. One thing I would like to tell you though is we prepare the food because we are at home by ourselves. We prepare the food and have it waiting on the side. I have it here. So in this case, unlike traditional Oryoki, we're going to be serving ourselves. Usually here I would have, for example, a rice dish or some cereal, something that's you can eat fairly quickly, does not take a lot of complexity and is not a big mess. I wouldn't recommend spaghetti. Here maybe a little soup, and here perhaps some tea. Here, for example, when it comes time, I will say serve the food. Again, pause, bow, serve yourself. Don't take too much, don't take too little. Okay. Pause, bow. Okay, now give yourself some soup, perhaps. All right. Now next, for example, if you have some tea, take your tea, give yourself some tea, return it, and the service is done. There's an extra little bowl here because at one point during the ceremony, we will give a little morsel, maybe 5 grains of rice. That's my standard. Think 5 grains of rice or a pinch of something to put in the bowl to give to the hungry ghosts. The hungry ghosts for me represent all the people in the world, everywhere in space and time, who are hungry this evening. Let's leave a little food for them. We cannot actually give them this food, so later, after the ceremony is done, take it outside and leave it on the front lawn for the birds and the squirrels. That's how we do it. So we have a little extra dish there. Okay, so you're eating. Go pretty quickly because we want to try to finish together. This is not to dawdle. This is not a 4-hour French meal. My apologies, Tiger. This is Oryoki. Eat. Bow. Yeah. It's okay to touch your lips to this bowl. Put your chopsticks on top if you wish. I like my 3 fingers. And repeat. There will be a time where I will hit and ask if anyone wants seconds. If you do want some seconds, it is fine to take seconds. Same way. Serve yourself. Don't forget to gasho. Hopefully we're all going to be done about the same time, because then it's time to clean the bowls. And that takes a little bit of practice, but again, it's not so hard. The first thing you will do is make sure that the food is out of your bowls. There should be nothing in them, maybe just a few grains sticking to the bottom. You should be finished. When we begin by taking some water or some tea and placing it in the large bowl. So again, you have some clear water or some hot tea, pour a little in the large bowl. Okay. Take your spoon, which is in the large bowl, and your sponge, and put the sponge in the large bowl. And now that drying cloth. Okay. Dry the spoon and hold the drying cloth in your hand. Replace the spoon in the envelope. Now take your chopsticks. Same. All right, then with the drying cloth. Put it in the envelope. Okay. Now, the big bowl itself, clean it out with the sponge. Okay, then when you're done with that, take the water, move it to the middle bowl. Take your sponge, put it in the middle bowl, and then using your drying cloth, dry the large bowl. Okay? Leave the drying cloth in the large bowl, and now wash your middle bowl. Pour the liquid into the teacup. Place the sponge now in the teacup. Take your drying cloth, move it to the middle bowl, dry the middle bowl. This time there's nothing more, so squeeze out your sponge. Right. And return it to the envelope. Right. Take your drying cloth. Oh, well, there's tea in here, I should say. So in this case, drink. Right? Nothing wasted. So whatever morsels were left should now have washed into this cup. You wash this cup, drink it, then dry it. Okay. Right? Now, we will now proceed to pack the bowls. I would take your drying cloth, hold it in your hand. Right? Take with your thumbs. And move the whole to the center. Lift your envelope and take the flap closest to you, put it over the top. Take the flap from the other side and put it down here. Then take your envelope and lay it on top like so. Right? Next, we have the napkin. The napkin is in your lap, and just fold it as you would a regular napkin. There's a traditional way to do it in thirds, like so. It's a little tricky with this. It's not quite the right size. Okay, that's fine. Just open it like so. Okay. I could be a little more beautiful and do what I just did there. That's fine. Then take your now wet drying cloth, give it some pulls, lay it on the side. Alright? Remember again, in between each move, pause, gosh, slowly. Alright? And then we're going to make our bunny ears again, and voila. Beautiful. To open the bowls and to close the bowls takes a little practice. We're going to have several opportunities each day in order to do that. Don't worry, don't panic. There are no mistakes in Zazen, even when we make mistakes. And we'll have a lot of chance to practice. The most important thing is keep your heart open and relaxed. Be sincere. If you make a mistake, just start from there again. And we keep on going. And we do get better on it. So slow, pause, gassho. I'll be back a couple of more times in the coming days leading up to our retreat to talk about some other things, including even how to answer the call of nature. That's a ceremony too for us. How to brush our teeth. That's a sacred action for us. And some other things. So it's good to have you here. Looking forward to our Rohatsu retreat. And in the meantime, let's sit a little now. All right? See you later.